Hi, it is that Friday feeling again. We are back in the place of Dad's RC hangar. My name's Chris and we got today a great video, the continuing build of the ZOHD Extreme. Let's get on with it. And back in the room. Oh yes, you're high above me today. You're not have to put up with me in getting in shop, and you don't have to put up with trying to see what I'm doing. I've got a little gizmo that holds the camera over top so I can give you this lovely view. Lovely. What are we doing today? Well, we're going to stick in the ZOHD, we're going to stick the Tramp HV video transmitter. Now this is a race ready, but I was told to get this anyway because it's very good. So this is what we're going to be doing today. Don't need the box. Okay, so let's try that again. Don't need a box. Okay, right, there you go. We've also got the stubby, Mr. Stubby, that's not in here because I've taken it out when I was testing on the aerial. Mr. Stubby is now on our aerial extension. I'm hoping that everything of this is going to go in shot and not blurry because you all get fed up. So that is that. So that's what we've got there. We have got a little 3D printed gizmo that I made to mount the transmitter. This is the transmitter here, so it's going to be stuck there. Where we're going to put it, which you'll see in a little while, will allow airflow to throw through it. This will sit underneath here, and then the connection will go there, and obviously this will go. You don't really need this. I mean, I was told that that this is just for racing, so I'm trying to keep everything in shot. It's the most hardest thing to do. Maybe I should have just stopped it from being auto and just do it manually, but we'll give it a go. I must admit, I am sweating hot in the hangar today. I have to close the doors and everything else not to annoy anybody when I'm chatting away, and I am boiling. I am literally frying up, so I might have to turn my mini fan on, which I'm going to, and it's not the quietest of things, so you might hear a whirry noise in the background, but don't worry. Don't worry. Right, okay, so where do we want to put this? Well, this is the section that goes at the back of the ZOHD. As you can see, I've already made a hole in here. Just by I actually did it with one of my my little tool bits that make a threading tool, and I just sort of slowly but gently, because I didn't want to twist it, because this is very, even though it's good, it's not bad, it's very still, you know, because it's made up a lot of little bubbles, as to say. It was quite easy to rip it, so very gently. And then if I take Mr. Stubby off, in fact we'll do it anyway because we're going to do this today. Let's move these little helping hands. Everything's falling apart on me. So there's our extension cable that we're going to be using. In fact, I need to connect it first, so let's not get too excited, Chris. But anyway, that's where it's going to push in now, because it's tightening in. You've got the square going into get that in focus. Sorry, square going into a round, so it kind of stops it there, and then it pokes through the other side. Before you put Mr. Stubby on, obviously make sure that you've got nothing in there. Not going to over tighten it, but that's how it's going to look. Now, I must admit, this is pretty annoying. It keeps going out of focus, so if I just put everything on the floor, as per se, it might be happy. Otherwise, let's just try to turn autofocus off and see if that's a bit better. We'll go with gold. See what that's all about. So this is how it's going to sit. So it's nice in the back, and then we've got our little 3D printed seat that will sit in there, and that will sit in there, so that way when all the air comes through here and out of here, it's going to keep it cool. I could have gone a bit lower with this. You know, it's a 3D print, so let's keep it down here. Sorry, it's a 3D print, so I can go lower on here. Let's get this one, that's better. I could have made this a bit shorter, but you know, we'll see how it goes. It doesn't really matter, but it's a 3D print. It's funky 3D printing. So what's to do? Right, so that will be coming up in a little while. This is the cable that you get with the Tramp HV transmitter. Now, if I've got it, if I try and move some stuff over here, if I bring over the ZOHD, here she is in all her glory. Here we go. Right, so we're going to have our iNav board sitting on here, and this pokes in here and closes on there. Now, that if I plug that into the unit, which would be there, it wouldn't be enough to. It'd be a nightmare trying to put that in. So we're going to extend the cables. That's what we're going to do. Now, I've got some ribbon cable that came with the connectors that make these end connectors, and I just tore the colours off. Now, one end has got the female, so I stick it down there. One end's got the female, and one end has got the male. So we know the female will go straight onto the pins on the iNav board, which is fantastic. That's brilliant. So, and I've got colour for colour, and I even got some heat shrink, which is also the same colour. So we can go, you know, black to black, etc, etc. Now, this is kind of rubbery, so I've got to be careful with this one. Now, I can either just cut that down a bit and solder it to that, which would be a lot easier, or to strip it, try and wire them together. But I'm thinking, you know, well, let's, you know, just keep it as far as we can and just solder them on the end. So that's what I'm going to do, instead of cutting this off and then, you know, stripping the cables, because I want as much cable as I can. I can always come back and do this. You know, we can just cut this off. So what I'm going to do is snipper this. Watch out for flying things. I'm just going to show you do one, and then I'm going to stop and do them all, because you don't need to. I know I can do this like fast forward thing and bits and pieces, and maybe that's what I should do, but anyway. So my helping hands, help, I need some butt. Right, so that can hold on there like so. These are already tinned, which means they've already got solder on them, which can go on quite close. It's alive. Bzzzt. Okay, so if I get these together, they're scared together. So there you go. You can just about see that as well. If I put my focus on there again, you can see there properly. Now, got my battery plugged in, which you can't see. I've got the box here. There's fire on the box, and we should get some. Which one is it? It's that one. I had the wrong one on. Push that, and there's my little soldering iron that's powered by a battery, by a flight battery. How cool is that? They're brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Brilliant idea. I think it's mainly if you're out in the field and you need to solder something. It's mainly for the quadcopter chaps, but you know, it's all good. So I'm going to put, while that's heating up, I'm just going to put some flux on here, which helps the solder adhere to the steel. Does make it extra hot. I don't know how by. I haven't got a heat gun. We got a solder somewhere. Where we got? We've got a solder here, so we're good on there. And we seem to be up to temperature. So okay. So the only thing I need to do is put some solder on this little peg, just to keep it there. And then if I bring these two together and just touch them together like so, nice and shiny, so we've got a good solid connection, and there we go. And then all I need to do then is just to put over my heat shrink like so, and then we'll heat shrink that. So is this all going out of focus again? God, I thought it'd be good doing it this way. It's a nightmare. I'm hoping that's in focus anyway. So yeah, so there, and then I'll heat gun that, and then we've got our extended cable. That end will go straight to the iNav, and boom, fantastic. Okay, so rather than just speeding through, because I do that wrong, you see me do one, let me do the rest. So I'm going to hold it there, and I'll speed back in a second. And there you go. Oh, I must turn my phone. In fact, let's turn it off now, because it bleep blops all the way through, and that's what I always hear when I'm editing the movie. Right, I've cleaned up a bit. Here are all our soldered. I'm sorry you didn't want to see me do individually ones. Got a long cable now, probably maybe a bit too long. I could have cut the black things off, but the connectors, but I like it. So we're going to use our heat gun again. Hot air gun. I'm full of hot air as it is, but we do need this. I think if I try to do that, I'll be out of breath. So let's just hold these down and blow across these. Heat shrink's brilliant, it really is. Oh. It does get hot, like a hairdryer. Just roll them about a bit. Kaboom. Lovely. So there you go, all lovely and heat shrinked. Boom. We could, I suppose, put a bit of heat shrink just to keep them happy dappy, couldn't we? Let's get. Where's my heat shrink? Who's got my heat shrink? Who stole my heat shrink? Come on, own up. I think it was me. I think it's I'm going to have to go in the box. In the box. In the cardboard box. But best laid plans. Right, so I've got my. I have got a couple of things. I was looking for the actual bag of a thing, but I think I've got it in my white box, full of stuff for the ZOHD. Right, I reckon that might be a bit too tight. It's always good to put these things on before you. I could blend them. I don't know if that would be too much. So I might just blend them rather than heat shrink, because I'm not going to get that around. I should have thought that in the beginning, really. So somewhere over the rainbow I have got my blending box somewhere. I did get the things ready, so they're all close by. And do you think this is close by? No. Why isn't it close by? I don't know. Did I put it away? No, I didn't put it away. So it must be in my little white box, which I won't show because it'll be blind. No, it's not in my white box. Ay. So I just talk amongst yourselves. Where's my box gone? My blending box. I put it somewhere, and I've been so safe that I don't know where I put it. I've put it somewhere. Don't know. Okay, not a problem. We won't look for the blending box. So we'll leave this for now anyway. This is going to be long, very long enough. Absolutely brilliant, actually. Now this bit you don't really need. It's for race, for quads. So we'll leave that out. Try not to make that. I'm having one of them days today. My fan just wants to vibrate on every piece of thing that's touching. It's the most crappiest fan ever, but it's blowing air on me, which is a good thing. Right, so let's sticky in here. Ever so funny. There it goes in there. There we go. So I couldn't get some of these connectors, so that's the pain of it all. That's why. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to take off our 3M sticky that I put onto here, and we're going to sticky this down and making sure that I put it the right way around, because I left the chamfer on the end there, just so it butts up. But to there. Give it a nice little squish. Try not to break anything. And there we go, our little carriage. Now, what we can do now is take off our knobby, or whatever it's called, and we will put this over here. In fact, I could probably just will that fit through there like that? How did I do it before? Yes, I did. Just a bit of wiggling around. So let's stick our extension, make sure both sides are clean, so we're not going to trap anything. Let's stick the arrow. Try not to bend it, Chris, and break it. Bend it like Beckham. Here we go. Get in there. Right. And now we just pull it through a bit. Let's get my long nose pliers. Not them ones, my nice ones. Where are my nice, easy like Sunday morning ones? Oh dear, another thing I can't find. Best laid plans, I'm telling you. So we should stick that in there. Let's just try and see if I can just tighten that up there. I can, there we go. Needs to be, the aerial needs to be pointing the other way, so let's just twist it like that before we tighten it. Okay, wrong ones. Hope you can see what I'm doing here. I'm sure you can. Oh, these are just a bit stiff, they need a bit of grease on them. Oh, wrong way. Okay, there you go. So, nice, and I could have put something in there so it would hold, but just the way it is. Definitely needs some blending around here, because otherwise I'm going to get all this caught. Now, so, let's stick it in here. Lovely. Make sure there's nothing in there, which is not, so we get our aerial. And while holding the back arse of it, now we don't want to go too mad, but it does tighten all the way anyway. So there you go, there's the tighten, another little turn. And there we go. So it's a bit bright on these lights, I need to put some filters on them. So, but that's how it's going to sit. And then we will, in fact I could probably blend them, stick them there so they're not in the way. And lovely cool air, sorry, coming through here, going across a very hot transmitter. Now, I'm going to, how am I going to stick this? I mean, there shouldn't be any reason to take this off, he says. It's on some 3M sticky, maybe I shouldn't have gone for a full flat hole sticky. If it blows up, then he's just going to end up pulling it off anyway. Should I just put, I don't want it any higher. The reason was is I wanted it lower, so it sat down lower inside, but I mean there's air coming through here, so it's going to be pushing the air. And as I say, I rounded these edges off on here. There's a word for it in Fusion, so it sits in the gully just like that. Now I was going to use some adhesive, some epoxy. Let's do some epoxy. Epoxy. Now these are, now the little thing, I'll go, shall I? Yes, because this is, this is the bottom, this is the raft of my little design that is version 1. Version 1, because I need to do a few things. Now this is going to hold the iNav. So the part of the iNav slips into there, and then this comes across, slips into the other bottom. You can screw down into the existing wood that's in the ZOHD, and then you've got the iNav that's sturdy and can be taken out again. It hasn't got a big sticky in this, it's not aggro. Version 2, I'm going to have a few runners here. If I get the iNav out, actually, I know we're sort of going across, talking about stuff again. But you know this channel, I kind of randomly, tangentially go on to something else. If you was in the live session the other day, you'll understand it even more. So here you've got this bottom plate that's got no electronics on. So, and this is only 1mm thick. So I actually forgot to do standoffs inside this. That's why it's a bit blocked in there. So yeah, that's why version 1 as well. So that's going to sit there, and then this will squeeze on, go that way. Obviously it won't go in properly because I've got gumph in there. And that will sit in there like that anyway. So hold it down, and then all I'm going to do is wipe that off. It's just make some standoffs here in the 3D print. So once it's sitting down, it can't go left or right. It can't go forward or back. And if you do need to take it out again, you just undo these 4 screws that go into the wood of the ZOHD, and bang, take it out. 3D printing. But this is trial and error. Basically, isn't me trying to rush today to try and get this done. Why was I rushing? Because I was messing about this morning making a Spitfire. It's got a split personality, this Spitfire. Oh, come on, stop it, Chris. So, yeah. So yeah, it's yeah. So I was messing about this morning instead of concentrating on giving you guys and girls the best ever. Instead, you just got got me. Right, so how high is that going to be? There's quite a big deep sponge. Is that going to make a difference? You know what, I do, yes, epoxy. So anyway, let's get our epoxy going. So we want one blob of that and one blob of A. That's probably a bit too much blobbing. I want a bit more on here. It's meant to be 50-50, this one. I have got some other stuff. I've got some new stuff, some new epoxy, and here it are, which is Benchcraft resin and hardener, but I haven't had a play with it, and I didn't want to do it now in case it all went terribly wrong. I know this is the aftermath, I think, of another plane that I can't remember. Might have been the Cub, I don't know, but it's epoxy from some model anyway. As I'll keep it. I don't know what the shelf life is of epoxy. All I know that there's some here. So yeah, the 3D printer has been a brilliant thing, you know, just to make these little things. You know, there's so many people out there that just whack their stuff in and fly. I get that totally. I can't wait to fly this baby. I mean, it's just one bad boy, it really is. So, but you know, I want my models to last. Well, they're not models, are they really? Planes, RC planes. And if I can make things that stay cooler, because I listen to what people say to me. In fact, I've forgotten who I've been speaking to about FPV. He hasn't spoken to me for that long. I hope he's okay. Maybe he will comment on this one. But yeah, so we had a live session the other day. As I say, we are still in lockdown. It's April the something. What is it today? It is April the 24th. It's a Friday feeling of April 24th. Yeah, so last Wednesday we did a live session and there was about 8,000 people. Oh no, sorry, I'm lying. 8 people that came and said hello, which I thought was really nice. We had a good old little chat. In fact, I waffled on for an hour, which I think is on he's on YouTube under live chat. So we're going to do some more of those, because I think it's just great interaction with people that around the world as well, you know, in the country, people in the UK, people in America, and it was just really nice to have a chat. I think the chat was a bit laggy. That might have been the upload speakers. I didn't realise that you're actually streaming to YouTube, so it's, you know, yeah, it's live. So it's like, you know, I don't have to add the video afterwards, which I didn't realise. So it might be my upload speed, I don't know. So we're going to sticky that down there, put some across there. Can you see it? Yes, you can. There you go. Okay, this can be thrown away because this is my waste product of the 3D printing. This is what you call a raft. That helps it stick down. I was saving it all so I could crush it all up and make some more or something. Anyway, so let's stick that in there. Let's just whoosh it around. And we're going to let that stick. We're going to let that stick. I'm not sure, it doesn't take long. In fact, let's hold that down and talk a bit more. La 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 la. I said talk, not sing. So I hope everyone's having a great time in the lockdown. I know it's, you know, everyone's trapped. No one can fly. Some people are still flying. But yeah, you know, you've got to make the best of it. You know, this is why it still is the Friday feeling of Dad's RC Hangar, because it's still Friday. You know, I savour something, like, you know, have a little drink later on. I do a few things on Friday, apart from make a video. So yeah, I think it's a point of keeping the sanity. You know, save something, save a bit of cake, you know, a special brew, you know, a beer, or like, you know, some whiskey or something, whatever you're into. You know, save something just for that Friday feeling, because then you'll, you know, it's all to do with head training. You know, it's all getting your head space, getting you into that space so you don't feel suddenly trapped in. I mean, I'm lucky, you know, I do have a garden. So you know, there's a lot of people that I know that are stuck in, you know, and get their daily walks that we're allowed to do. So it's tough, but you know, just keep in there. Just stay safe. You know, I want to be speaking to the people I'm speaking to now in the future. I really do. You know, already I know people that have passed because of this horrible thing, so you know, let's not see any more. Right, I think I've been pushing down on that. I'm not going to move it about. I am going to blend them. You know, I can push that back so it's nice and nice. Oh, hello. So it's nice. I hope this is not coming out too bright, because it looks bright from here because my lights over the desk is bright. But I'm going to blend them now so that's nice and neat. Push them back a bit so it's not strained. And that is my video transmitter in the ZOHD. Lovely airflow going all over it. I kept it wholly at the bottom so airflow would go through that as well. That's, yeah, awesome. So let's leave that to dry a bit more, and let's go back to something. Let's move this out of the way and stick that in the bin. Over here. Let's stick away before I stick something else to it. The wing. Now I did flash this at some point on some video. I can't remember which one it was. But on here I've actually put in the RX4R receiver. I cut off the spikes, but I left 2 spikes in there. In fact, I think this has gone really dark because the camera said, "Oh mate, all that white light." So I'm hoping it's not too bad for you. I'm sorry if it's dark. Yeah, still going to work on all this camera stuff. But then again, you know, I'm looking at the camera and I can't hardly see anything anyway. So I don't want to brighten things up and make things go mad. So we had this tract which comes all the way along here. And then goes into here. So I put an extension cable here. We only need the 3 cables, I believe, that go into this. I made a little connection in there, and I'm just going to cover that with blendem. The aerials, as you can see, they come over one here and then one comes around there. I'm hoping that's going to be good enough. As I say, this is upside down, so the wing is that way around, so I'm hoping that's going to not have any dead zones flying about. Apparently the RX4R is a good receiver for this sort of thing. As I say, I left two of the spikes on here so I could just push it in so it keeps it in there. And I did cut a bit of foam out underneath here so it kind of sits in its own little gully. So it should be nice and tight there. And as I say, there's nothing poking out there, so I can just blend them that. Yes, I could have 3D printed something, you know, and done whatever, but you know, stick a little cap over there or something. Maybe I might even do that, but why? It doesn't really need it. You know, this can just be blendem. You know, you've got the servos here that are exposed, so they're going to get hit before anything else. So yeah, a bit of tape over that just to keep it waterproof and stuff. So that is our receiver in here as well. I can't remember if I don't think I did a video of it, to be honest. But then again, you didn't really need to see a video of this because I'm explaining to you what I did. If you do have any questions, then leave it in your comments of what I did and why I did it. But yeah, so that's our receiver for the ZOHD in as well. So let me stick our wing back over here. So we are getting harder and fast. We are getting there, which I'm really happy about. As I say, this video is actually not as long as I thought it would be. So we're going to put our iNav in here. This is where that little plastic thing is going to go. Basically, I could just quickly show you in here actually. So that fits there. It's got 2 holes, 2 screw holes to go in there. Whatever screws I find. I mean, to be honest, I could always stick this down. And then this one will push up onto the iNav. And then you've got your 4 screws, the other 2 screws, and then that just holds it totally in place. You know, it's the most simplest thing I could think, because I thought if I stick it down, I've got to try and rip it out if it's something wrong with it, and you know, that's just, I'll just undo 2 screws, slip that off, and I can take the nav out. So it's not that difficult. So I will have version 2 of that ready for this next video of the ZOHD. I will find my blendem and get this in, but as you can see, when I push, when they're all put in there, that'd be nice. There's going to be a nice little length, so it's not going to be pulled, so I can push up like that without worrying about snagging any cables or pulling anything off or doing anything horrible. So we've got our GPS in, we have got our receiver in, we have also got a camera to do. So our Fox Air camera is what we're going to be using. Now if I just show you the Fox Air camera, Fox Air should I say. Ooh. This is our little Fox. I've shown you before, I'm sure I have. So we are going to use the they come with a like a foam cutout for cameras. Let's put that back on there. And this is what we'd be using for that. So if I actually just push that in here, so if I get this here and see if we can get a shot of it. This is a bit of a weird way of doing it. So this just slips in there, just pushes that and out. Oh, sorry. Let's get that in focus, Chris. Focus. There we go. And there she is, sticking out. Now I don't know if that's sticking out too much. It's just about underneath. Sorry, let's do it this way. You'll be able to see it a bit better. Oh, I'm just throwing things on the floor. It's just about below the shelf. I mean, I think it can go a bit back, but until I put the goggles on, or we put, you know, a monitor on it, we won't be able to see how much it is. But you know, I think well, I'll have to see basically, and then once we've got that in place, then I can either we'll push this back or something. I've got to work on this. This is something that I work offline, because it sits in there. It sits in there, so we would want it to go back. So if that's the case, what I was thinking of is I could make some rings out of 3D print some rings, so and then put something here. What, I don't know, maybe I can put a bit of foam, glue a bit of foam so that it stays at the back to stop it coming out, because at the back there's just a little plug. Now we have got to join some more cables to this, because this is not going to be able to reach the iNav. You know, this got to go all the way from the front all the way back to here. So I have got some cable that I've got to make another loom on, which is here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think Emmy's on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to put. In fact, is that the only colours? No, there he is. You've got all the colours are there. So I'm going to use that as an extension from one end to the other. You know, I'll probably put some heat shrink to keep it together. So I've got to make that as well. That's an extension. I don't need to do a video. I will show you what I did, and if you ever need to ask me questions on what I did, then I can tell you. But this is my main concern. It's just 3D printing this. You do have standoffs that you get. I mean, I've got to show you this box. This is the most cutest thing ever. So let's take that camera out. Try not to get my greasy fingers over the lens. We can put some lens cleaner on there. I do have camera cleaner, etc. But to keep that over as much as we can. You're not seeing what I'm doing. Sorry, I'm getting that back out again. So that's what comes with the ZOHD. You do get another one as well for a different type of camera. So look at this. You get in there, in there, and then you get a little box that you pull out. Boop. It's really cute. You get tons of fun stuff in here. You get like a little bracket. I'm hoping that Mr. Focus is doing its thing. You get one little bracket. This is mainly, I believe, for like quadcopters. It's got little screws there that hold on there. So maybe I need to use one of these brackets as well. I've got to design something. Yes, I could even 3D print this, but make it so I can move the camera about. Then we get a little pack of screws and washers, which is really, really nice. I didn't even know this box was in there. And then we get our little remote, so you can go through the menu of the camera, which comes off of one of the cables. So yeah, that could be stuck at the back there, so it's easy accessible. We'll go through that. There's more. Hold tight. And then here's the looms, or one of the looms. So it's got, I don't know why it's got those ends on it. I think that I know that goes to the controller, so I'm going to have to cut the cables anyway and do some soldering, and that's the controller that fits onto that one, you see. And then this one here, the rest of them go to the board. So I mean, I could always extend them totally and put this back near the iNav. That's a thought. And you get, well, oh, you get another. See, this is what I could put on here. You see, you put another one on here. Put screws in this, so you could, I suppose, move it about once it's in. And for your quadcopters, I don't know. But that's such a small camera. But apparently, this is really nice camera. The Fox Air. What model is it? Scratch me. I don't know what that means, but yeah, okay, bit kinky. Yeah. Okay, there you go. It's just a quick video, really. I thought it would actually go on longer because you know how I do like to waffle on. But you know, this is almost dry. I'm going to leave it before it goes. Before I move it about. But the epoxy's there. I need to find where I put my blendum somewhere. I'll try to get ready for this, but yeah. So the next video will be for the ZOHD Extreme as well. We'll continue with bits and pieces. I still need to cut the ESC power cable to split that, because obviously it goes straight into the iNav. Now I don't want to just solder it there. I just want to put some cable with a clip, so then I can take it apart, take it all off in case there's an issue or something else. You know, I'm trying to think ahead rather than go, oh crap, why didn't I think of that? So for one sweaty Chris at Dad's RC Hangar, because it is hot in here, until I see you next week, be safe. Don't forget to visit the website. Here's the address. Just go on there, join the forum, just say hello. You know, it's another place to chat, especially in lockdown. You know, chatting's a good thing, but try and have fun any which way you can, and be safe, and we'll see you soon now. Bye bye now. See ya. Bye bye.